how when they throw toxic words at us, how that is actually a projection, reflection of them, right? We get really caught up and in the words that are used that are really hurtful, that are thrown at us, and we then take them on board personally, right? And then we think about them. We think that we are them. We think that they are what we are. They become our limiting beliefs. They become our negative narratives, right? So when, a narcissistic person or a toxic person in your life, when they're throwing these words at us, that's how they become ingrained in us. And we would have heard some of them in childhood as we're growing up as well. So then there's that self-fulfilling prophecy in your subconscious of, well, it must be true because everybody keeps saying it, right? So then that becomes a deeply ingrained core limiting belief. And they are tricky little buggers to get rid of, don't get me wrong. And when we're coming out of this space, and I think one of you commented on one of my other lives the other day, is that they are the ones that fear us. We're the strong ones. They're the weak ones. What actually happens is that when we've come out of this space and we're the shell, we have become the weak ones because they have sucked our life force out of us. They have sucked everything out of us, and there's nothing left. And that's why we think that we're weak. But in actual fact, we can rejuvenate, we can regenerate, don't even know if that's a word, but we can rejuvenate, we can regenerate, we can energize ourselves, we can top ourselves up over and over and over. And so these toxic words, so when we reflect back, or if you're in a situation now that's toxic, be it with a parent, be it with a partner, be it with a sibling, be it with someone in the workplace, a colleague, a cousin, or whatever that looks like, I really invite you guys that the next time you come into contact with this person and you have this opportunity, as I like to call it, I don't like to call it lessons, I like to call it opportunities to check on ourselves, is be the third person and just sit back and go, what are they going to say today? See what they say, observe what they say, then observe in yourself, how did I take that on board? Did I take that personally? What narrative have I then run in my mind, which is your limiting belief? And then you know what you need to heal. That is one layer of what is required to be healed for that to no longer affect you and for you to be detached from that situation. Pop in a hashtag replay and let me know if you've just had a brain bomb moment as well and what that brings up for you. Because when we are healing through these spaces, one of the biggest strategies and that I teach my clients, and now you guys as well, clearly, is when we've come out of this space of grief and anger and frustration and irritation and just pure hurt and erupting emotion, once we're out of that and then we're having these opportunities, it's then the stage for this next level of healing to sit back and be observer, to sit back and be third party, to be a little bit disassociated from the situation, not from yourself, from the situation, and be the fly on the wall. Be the bird's eye view, right? And observe. And when you come into it as the observer, you don't take it on the same way. You have a few more little brain bomb moments of, and then you feel. So then the next level to that is you feel how your body responds, because our body is our first messenger. Our body is our first messenger to ourself, right? So the chemical reactions and the way that our body feels sends a message to our subconscious. Our subconscious then opens up its little filing cabinet. I don't know if I've explained that to you guys properly yet, but it opens up the filing cabinet, pulls out a file and goes, the last time we felt this way in our body, we reacted or responded like this. And that's why we automatically behave in particular ways, especially after narcissistic trauma, and actually full stop in our lives. And we will see ourselves going through these motions when we're healing, going, I don't know why I'm doing this. I can't stop it. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I can't help it. That's when we have those moments, because our body operates on autopilot from the messages that it receives from our body, get sent to our brain, and it then actions it out. So that's why when you're coming into hypno sessions or trauma healing sessions with me, we work on that, because that is what we heal, because we want to change the message that's going to your brain, and then we're behaving in that way on autopilot. Because what happens with that is that the energy field that is around our bodies, because we do all have them, our aura, ours is beautiful. Ours is this beautiful aura of all of these divine colors. Think of like the beautiful lights over in, is it Greenland or Canada, where they have all of the I can't think of it, I'm having a brain blank. The northern lights, right? Think about those. So like the northern lights, right? Our body is surrounded by these beautiful colors, and that's what attracts them in the first place. And that is our space, and it protects us. And when the narcissist comes into our space, they want that. They want to suck that out for themselves, right? And their aura is a little bit chameleon-like in that it will change to match yours, right? And that's then how they sweep us off our feet, charisma, knight in shining armor, say all of the things that totally suck us in because we think we've met our match, our soulmate, our twin flame, whatever you want to call it. And they match that aura. And that's how they get sucked in, but they want the aura for themselves. So then they keep that facade up for a little while, and then they just slowly start to suck it out for them. But we freely give it because we think we're merging with them, and we give that easily because we have finally gotten what we've always dreamed and desired of, right? So that's how that all happens, because then our body's like, oh, this is my safe place. It's so beautiful. I can't believe my luck. This has finally happened to me. Oh my God, this is amazing. I've finally met my knight in shining armor. I've got my best friend forever. We're going to have all of these dreams and all of these memories and make this beautiful, gorgeous life that I've always wanted. And this person wants it too. That elicits this feeling in your body of safety and, oh my God, finally I've gotten everything that I've ever wanted. And we wonder why it's so fucking hard to get out of that, because that feeling, that response is then flicked like a light switch, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. The light bulb going every time they're in our aura, every time we're with them, we get that feeling. And that's the trauma bond, because what happens from there, that's how it forms, that's how it begins, because we want to go out and attach ourselves to that person because they're now our everything. They're everything that we've ever wanted. So we literally extend our tentacles out and envelope them as well. However, we, like in a healthy manner, will let go, but they latch on, and then they latch on for good. And that's then why we have those hits that every time we're in their presence, our body goes, there's my person, energetically. So when they're love bombing you, their aura matches that original aura that you gave out. And then they gaslight, manipulate, and do all of the other toxic things, and it's all horrible. And that's the trauma bond in a nutshell of how I like to explain it. So when you're triggered from these wounds, when you're around your ex and even around a toxic person, narcissistic parent, whatever that looks like now, your body is going, yeah, we're not getting sucked dry. We don't want this. It's horrible energy, because you've now acknowledged it. You've now identified it. You now know. And your body is just going, get the fuck out of town. Leave me alone. X, Y, Z. My daughter's over here and she's listening, so she just laughed at that. And, she's like, they're like, our body, they're coming towards us. They're advancing towards us. But our body knows instinctively that that aura doesn't match our aura anymore. And our aura is warning us. Our body is then anxious, depression, panic attack, all of the things, the somatic responses, even the IBS, the fibromyalgia, thyroidism, all of those things, emotions. And if our emotions are coming up, it's because we don't know how else to be and it erupts and overflows. That is why. And that is why we get triggered, because our defenses are weaker in that space, because they know that they've penetrated our space before. We know that they've penetrated our space before, but we've gotten out, so that when we go back near them and that space is being penetrated, our body is then warning us, get out. And this is what is really important then in that space, that we listen to our body, we listen to what's going on, because our brain pulls out the file of what happens the last time that we felt like that, and that's why we go back. That's why we sway. That's why we let our boundaries get bulldozed. That's why we allow them back into our life, because of that. And that is why when we're in this trauma bond moment of trying to get out or being around them and we're getting triggered, that it is so emotionally erupting and our body is reacting in such a big way, because we need to listen to that. We need to trust that. And when we do start trusting that, when we start listening to that, when we start tuning in, anchoring in, dropping in, whatever you want to call it, is when that then starts to send a message to the brain and rewrites that file, changes those neural pathways as to the way that we then associate with that. Then we start to behave differently. We actually open up a new file, because that file gets filed away and archived forever, because we no longer have these feelings in our body go to our brain, and our brain goes, oh, I don't know what to do here. I don't know how to act. I don't know what's going on. We need to open a new file. From here, when we're opening this new file, this is also when we can get the wobbles, I call it, and revert back in and open up an archive or another file somewhere else in our filing cabinet, because our body doesn't know what to do. We've never been allowed to choose. We've never been allowed to have choices. We've never been allowed to do anything other than something that's either been approved or been given permission. So then we're seeking external validation as to what to do next, because we actually don't know, because it's a blank journal. It's a blank piece of paper. And that's when, you guys will come to me and go, I don't know, Cass. I don't know what I like. I don't know what to do. Well, let's find something that you like. Let's do this, and I'll reel off all of these things, and it'll be like, but I don't know. Because we've never been allowed to make the choices, the decisions, or anything for ourselves, to actually then do for ourselves, because we've never prioritized ourselves. And we've never been allowed to either. So that's why then after that, it's so difficult to find out or even try new things or anything that we want to do, because we actually don't have a file that helps us behave that way and know how to negotiate and navigate it. So that's why it's tricky to rewrite that. Is this making sense? I know all of you that are on here have been through this and are feeling it. How was me? I was channeling that through pretty quickly, wasn't I? So if anyone's got any questions while I'm on here, circling back around though, because I went to so many levels and layers then, you're welcome. So, when we're in those spaces, then we're able to even more so be in that third party space of sitting back and going, how do those toxic words affect me now? What is going on in my body? What is happening there? And us being really reflective and giving ourselves time to witness ourselves and validate ourselves, because this is all we've ever wanted. And that's what we need to do for ourselves. So yeah, that's my message from that today. If anyone's got any questions or anything that they would like to drop in the comments, please absolutely do. All right, my gorgeous people, thank you for joining me. Thank you for jumping in. I love it when you guys come in, and have the best rest of your day.